Guys, what's up? I'm gonna do a quick video on the Eddie Murphy situation. It's not as much as a controversy, it's just a situation where now, dude finna come out of retirement and he about to smash. Like, I mean, he might break what Dave Chappelle did because he just, I don't think Eddie Murphy done stand up since Delirious and Raw. And that brings me to the meat of this situation where the Times, I think New York Times did an interview with Eddie Murphy, and of course they went straight to the jugular. How do you feel about the LGBT culture coming after you and the woke and cancel culture coming after you for the material you did in Delirious and Raw? Because now with this new cancel culture, Dave Chappelle just slaughtered them, and now it's your turn. You're another, I guess, great black comedian coming out of retirement, so to speak, and before you get, I guess, descended upon, you want to answer or reply to the people that think that your comedy back then is so offensive that you now have to answer for your shit today. And Eddie Murphy was like, well, you know, I look back at my old comedies and I cringe at it. Not because he feels sorry for what he said. It's just that back then he was going through a bad breakup with a girl, and of course it reminds you, that back then you were a young guy with money and bitches and hoes and all that kind of shit. And you're not that guy anymore. So they're trying to get him to apologize, and they want the woke and cancel culture to get this man to pull a Kevin Hart and just go on a fucking tour of apologizing and taking back all the shit he said, when truth be told, all that stuff made that man a megastar. So what the fuck is the New York Times looking for? Apparently folks wouldn't have been buying tickets for none of this stuff if it wasn't successful, or if it wasn't even funny. In fact, there wouldn't be a demand for Eddie Murphy to come back right now if the woke weirdos in Hollywood found this dude's stuff offensive. Let's be clear. The weirdos run Hollywood. They run all that shit. So even if Harvey Weinstein got his issue with his sexual assaults and all of that, Harvey Weinstein is a guy that did actual physical harm to people. Murphy is a comedian. You know, the accusations that came out with this Me Too shit, and with Louis C.K. and all of this, with him just talking nasty on the telephone, in all these college campuses that are out there protesting, is the reason Jerry Seinfeld, who is the number one, is the highest grossing comedian of all time. I think Jerry Seinfeld is worth almost $1 billion, and even he won't perform on a college campus because the social justice warriors have made it so bad that you can't even go on tour and do a college campus, because all of those weirdos, all them SJWs out there, the LGBT, all the people that are so sensitive, all the triggered people are out there in the crowd waiting to be triggered, just to have something to validate what they're afraid of. Okay, so Eddie Murphy ain't got nothing to be scared about. He don't owe nobody no apology, in my opinion. I'm dying for this nigga to come to New Orleans, so I got the money already waiting for my ticket. I don't know when the Netflix special is gonna come out, but what I've gathered is he's waiting to get tour dates so that he can record the Netflix special while he's out there. Okay, and I guess at the end of the tour, that's when it'll be released. Kind of how Dave Chappelle did it, but that's what's happening. All these black comedians who are considered controversial, people like Chris Rock, who hadn't done specials in a long time. There's a bunch of people out there that's just waiting to make a reason to find one thing that they say, yeah, a transgender joke, and it's mostly all these sexual orientation jokes. Everything else, nobody's got an issue until you make jokes about sexuality. Then you done fucked up. So, you know, Eddie Murphy, like he said, I've had my, my situations that I've dealt with before, and all my, my little controversies and all of that, and that's not going to stop me from making new material. This man got material he's been sitting on for years, and now that he's making a comeback, I know that they're going to get that nigga the bag. Netflix going to break the bag on Eddie Murphy, and the people who want the rest of America to be offended by what this man is saying is angry that Netflix ain't stopping that check. Okay, this man has has a crowd that's dying to subscribe to Netflix to see this dude's new special. When people ain't fucking dumb, they see the writing on the wall, and there's like a horse race, a rat race to see who can be the first network to pay this man for his next special. I think his last special was, I think, Delirious. Other than that, even Martin Lawrence ain't been on tour yet in a while. Martin ain't done shit in a minute since what, Run Tell That? And folks want to hear what Martin got to say. Martin is a legendary comedian. This nigga kicked off Def Jam. So with all that said, man, New York Times ain't hurting shit. This man, they ain't stopping this dude. That dude is a fucking juggernaut, bro. Eddie Murphy was inspired by Richard Pryor, and this man's gonna go on the Mount Rushmore of comedy if there ever was a Mount Rushmore, him with George Carlin included. And George Carlin, I would love for him to be alive today to see what the fuck is going on with the election cycle and the election season. Anyway, guys, that's my rant for the day. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Hit like, share, and subscribe. If you're gonna subscribe, bookmark this channel page because YouTube is blocking out all of my notifications. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here.